Each morning, real setups are broken down with entry strategies and technical reasoning behind every trade. This is today's best trade setups with Verified Investing.
Welcome to today's best trade setups. My name is Benjamin Poole, head trader here at Verified Investing, with another exciting show for you guys. So Nvidia has hit that the underbelly of that upswing trend line again yesterday and got a little bit of a pullback, as well as the rest of the markets. So what I'm looking for is a continued repeat of that underbelly of that upswing trend line for either a recapture or a continued breakdown to the downside. Let's go ahead and jump into a couple different charts. The first one, as always, right now I'm eyeing Oracle. So I really like this Oracle long level right here at $142.83. Got this nice gap in the charts on ORCL. And then if it heads a little bit higher, I'm looking at shorting it at $172.80. Again, I really like the price action of Oracle. It's nice bullish consolidation. So for me, I anticipate a nice move to the upside. As you can see yesterday, we did have a little bit of a sell-off and then a bid, and now we're open a little bit higher today on the chart of ORCL. Now let's go ahead and go into LITE. I did say that it favored a move to the upside, and LITE pretty much did absolutely nothing yesterday. It basically traded in this range from $609 all the way down to $587. So basically a 3% range all day long. So now that we're putting in a little bit of consolidation right at the top end of this green bar candle, a couple different things can happen. Either the bulls are gearing up for another leg to the upside, or the bulls are running out of steam. So we don't know which one's going to happen. What we got to do is monitor price action over the next few days. That'll give us an indication of what's really going on. If we start consolidating slightly a little bit more sideways, then the bulls are likely gearing up for another push to the upside. Now, if we start a rollover and close below this wide range green bar candle on LITE, that means the bulls have stepped out of the way, no more buyers in there, and then we're heading back down to $504, which is actually my long level today. Once that breaks, though, you have a lot further downside. I think you're coming down below $400 on the chart of LITE. We don't really know what's going on right now, just some basic price consolidation right at the upper end of this wide range green bar candle. Again, could be gearing up to go up, or the sellers may be buying or out of buying pressure or buying power, and so they could see a continued rollover. Let's take a look at the S&P 500. Yesterday, we had mentioned that we are still on the support at $676.57. What I'm looking at now is right now, basically, the SPY is trading a little bit lower. What I'm noticing, though, is you got this pivot here, secondary hit, third hit. Once we come down again, you're going to break the $676.57 level. And you're looking at a much bigger downside move to at least $671.40. Next line in the sand. Once that breaks, so $652.95 is where the SPY is going to eventually go down to. Similar price action with the QQQ. Again, they're not staying as strong as the S&P 500. Down trading a little bit in the pre-market session. My level of support right now is $590.07. That is where I'm looking to go long today, with knowing that I've got additional support at $583.46. Now let's go ahead and go into that Nvidia chart. Here's that long-term upswing trend line, connects this low pivot here, secondary hit, third, fourth, finally broke down, confirmed, got back above, never confirmed below, confirmed back below. This insinuating that there are more sellers involved inside of Nvidia than there are buyers, pushing this down. So now what we're looking at is this low pivot right here at $179.16. Once that breaks, you're getting down to $171.88. This is where I'm looking to pick up Nvidia for a long play. And then knowing that I've got this additional support at $166.90 if we can get this continued sell-off. On the upside, because this is a trend that has broken to the downside, we have to respect it until as a downward momentum until it recaptures it. If we get back above here and start closing above $193.61, that means this trend has then reversed again, and now we're going more bullish. And now then we could see price action heading up to $199.05 or even a little bit higher. For me, though, I would be looking to short at 193.61 in today's session if we can get there in the first 90 minutes on Nvidia. So for me now, what we're looking at is right here at $79.30 on Wayfair. This is where it got down to in the pre-market. Got a little bit of a bounce. For me, if Wayfair decides it wants to sell off a little bit more, my first long level is $73.61 with additional support at this wide range red bar candle right here at $68.25. So keep Wayfair on your radar. This can be a wild mover, as you can see. Even on the back of earnings, it can drop as much as 16%. So getting a little bit more of a bid to the downside, another 8% move on W wouldn't be out of the question for me. Carvana had a huge sell-off yesterday on the back of earnings, dropped over 25%. In the pre-market today, it has actually bounced quite significantly. So it would need a really big sell-off for me to be interested in the chart of Carvana again. But look at where it got to. It got down to $271.77. Look at this move to the upside. 25% move from the lows of yesterday's post-market action on the back of earnings. Now, this is where it's getting interesting. So this is where it closed on, so yesterday, $361.37. If it gets up there, this is going to be a key psychological resistance levels because all these people who were bullish going into earnings got crushed. So once price action gets back in here at this gap fill, 361.53, you should get a pretty significant sell-off. You're looking at about a 3, 5, or even 6% move to the downside if we can get up there within the first hour and a half. So set your alarms, set your alerts. 361.37 is where I'm looking to possibly short this in the market hours for Carvana. PANW is not really doing anything. Never got doing $144.15. This is where I'm looking to pick it up for a long. And my short level on PANW is 163.50. Let's go ahead and go into MU. It's trading slightly higher in the pre-market. So what I'm looking at is a short level at $446.47. This has been my standard short level with additional resistance at 455.50. These are my key technical resistance levels that I'm looking to implement a short on the charts of MU. SanDisk, couple different levels. It's trading slightly higher in the pre-market. If we get a sell-off, your first level of support, this gap fill, $541.64 with an additional support level at $481.43. What I'd be looking at is a close below 541.64. That would be my stop out on a 15-minute closing basis, knowing that I could pick it up at 481.43. And if it never gets down there, that's fine. I would just forget about it and look at additional support levels going into the future. Google never got down to my $291.77 level. We are getting a little bit of a decrease in the pre-market. So I do anticipate a little bit more of a sell-off today. Your first line in the sand is 269 or 296. However, once that breaks, 291.77 is going to be your next level of support. Lemonade had a little bit of earnings as well. So Lemonade's trading a little bit higher in the pre-market. I have Lemonade is LMND can move quite substantially. So what I'm looking at is a nice bid to the upside for a potential short level on LMND. This is $77.50 is where it got to in the pre-market. I'm eyeing this gap in the charts right here at $82.69 for a potential short opportunity for LMND. And then Campbell's Soup, somebody had requested this, so I'm going to go over this with you guys. What I like about Campbell's Soup is you're in this nice parallel channel. You broke out of it, confirmed above it, and now you retrace the scene of the crime. So for me, for a swing trade basis, $27.29 is that level of support for a swing trade, knowing that if you do close below back inside of this parallel channel, you could always stop out on a daily closing basis and then try to pick this back up at $24.74. Unless you feel like dollar cost averaging into this, and then your next level of support would be $25.75. And then you've got this $24.74. And then you've got additional levels of support at the midline at $22.68. DE is another stock that had earnings. It is popping up in the pre-market. What I've done is connected this pivot top here, secondary to pivot here, third hit. if price action gets up to $641.48, that could be a good shortable level. For me, the max upside today would be about $650. So this is something I would dollar cost average in, knowing that I've got this resistance of this upswing trend line. Oftentimes, because it's been such an extended move, it can pierce that level. So again, it could get up to $650 before a rollover on the price action of DE. LYFT is another stock that somebody requested, as well as Campbell Soup. Right now, Lyft has got the support at $13.16. As long as it maintains this, we have started the reversal. And then you have price action that could get all the way up back to $16.68. It is going to have a struggle getting up there, but that's where my max upside would be before this next turn to the downside. But right now, again, we're maintaining the support level. And so this is bullish for the chart of Lyft. Once that breaks, though, you're looking at your next support at $12.59. Overall, I do like the charts of Lyft, and I think you're going to get a nice bounce from these support levels. So thank you so much for joining me at 8:45 this morning. Some market movers, some that have already gotten their bounces and they're starting to play out, getting back up to gap fills. And then we've got some upswing trend lines that we're watching for resistance levels for potential pullbacks in the markets. Gareth Soloway is going to be going live in less than 4 minutes, talking about what's going on with the S&P 500, and you guys don't want to miss that. And please make sure you're liking, following, subscribing, and sharing with those friends so that way they can get the same market information that you're getting. And with that said, we'll see you guys next time in the charts. You guys have a great rest of your day. Take care.